Hi, my name is Sandra Samuels, host of Boss Lady Live, where I come to you every Monday night with experts to discuss issues of crime and violence, love and relationships, health and wellness, various different topics that affect us right here in Jamaica. Please like and share and subscribe. Click on the notification bell to be advised when you're on. See you then.
Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Boss Lady Live. Now it's the last program of the year, and it's only me alone today. Today we are going to speak on jumping into 2022. I am Sandra Samuels. I am the CEO of Totally Male, and I have been running my business for owning and operating, I should say, my business for the last 27 years. Now, today I'm going to speak on, in essence, I want to encourage persons out there who are struggling and thinking that, if they lost their job, it will be the end of the world and all of that. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey, and also I'm going to let you know that doors open all the time. When one door closes, another door opens. So this evening is our last program. We have done several programs for this season, but going into the holiday season, I want to just close off for the rest before the end of the year, and we will rejoin maybe about the end, maybe the middle to the end of January. Of course, you will be notified. Now, I have been in business, as I said before. Well, let me start from the beginning so that you have an overview, because I want to encourage someone tonight that is out there worried about their next step, and persons always want to feel that if they don't have anybody to help them, they're not going to make it. And if they don't have anybody to open a door for them. But everything is a process. So let me just start at the beginning. I am I'm an only child for a nurse, and I did not grow up with my dad. I went to primary school, and then done up in primary, and then I went on to high school, the Queen's School for Girls, and then I went to Immaculate Commercial. Many persons don't even know that Immaculate had a commercial section, but in 1982, yes, 81 into 82, I went to Immaculate Commercial, did commercial subjects, because I always had a passion for business. Now, I want to get out in this program, especially to the parents, that sometimes your children, they might be late bloomers, or they might be interested in stuff that are hands-on versus academia. Now, growing up, I am 57 now, but growing up back in the day, persons didn't think about the hands-on types of jobs like hairdressing or dressmaking, or now they call it you're a designer, or a fashion, you can be a fashion editor, or all those other different types of jobs. Back in the day, you had doctor, lawyer, nurse, that kind of thing. Now, because sometimes persons are not interested in academia, and I have nothing against schooling. Schooling is a must. But the thing is, persons who are not seen as being totally focused on schooling, they are seen as not necessarily ambitious. And so I want to speak a little bit about if your child is not necessarily one for academia, do not become despondent, because she or he could be more interested in hands-on, maybe woodwork, maybe hairdressing, could be barbering. And these jobs or these careers are definitely as lucrative, can be, let me say, can be as lucrative as the other businesses out there, the doctors and the lawyers and the nurses. It is how you treat your talent, or treat with your talent, or how your mindset and how you go into business. Now, when I was a young girl, I had a leaning to, or I should say, I had a passion for cosmetology. However, those things were not looked at as a first option for a career. So it was never ever on my mind to do anything to do with hair. Although I used to cream my aunt's hair, I used to cut it, I used to color it with zero training. And so I am saying to those parents out there, when you see that your children have a leaning to a particular talent, please encourage it. Encourage it, because I can only think how far I could have been, or how further along possibly I could have been, if my mother saw it as a viable option for me. But the thing is, your book focus on doing certain things that possibly she wanted for me. But the thing is, I had a very strong personality. And so many kids have a very strong personality and are seen as rude or challenging. So I want to encourage parents not to be despondent when your child is not grasping academia, because there are options, and viable options, especially in today's world. There's, of course, there's IT and all of the other hands-on kind of jobs. You have construction. As I said, back in the day, those things were not first option. So I started working at the age of 18. And I wanted to end my year with this program, because I know that many persons have lost their jobs this year and is going into 2022 with a sense of panic, or a sense of not being unsure of what is coming up next year. The pandemic is there. That persons are saying, everything looks so dismal and all of that. But I want to encourage someone out there tonight. I left school with 3 O levels. I left school with accounts, commerce, and English. The thing with me though, I was always one to push and to do exactly what I want to do, in spite of my mother wanting what she wanted. I always did courses that helped me to and steered me into the things I wanted to do. I was always, they call You always ask the question if entrepreneurs are born or made. I know I had it in me to be entrepreneurial. I was always doing something. I was always had a side hustle of some sort. My mother was not for it because she was more of a 9 to 5 kind of person. But I surrounded myself, or I sought out mentors that I saw what they were doing already. So persons out there who are undecided or unsure, you have an idea of what you may like, but you are unsure. Look around you, look around your surroundings. Or better yet, you're in a period where you are online. You can research any area of expertise. YouTube is a new university. Anything that you want to know about or you have an interest in, you can literally learn about it, find out where you can get it done, how you can get to do it. And in our Jamaican settings, persons are of the view that people are unreachable. Not true. Some are, but not all of us are. There is always help. You just have to focus on what it is that you want, know the questions to ask, seek the persons who are out there, and go for it. In my years of leaving school and starting to work, one piece of advice that I can tell you, excuse me, that I can tell you that will hinder your progress more than bad mind, more than envy, more than anything you can think of, more than lack of knowledge, more than anything that you can think of, is to surround yourself with the wrong people, or surround yourself with persons who have nowhere going. I have always surrounded myself, and I am giving my story. I'm not giving you a book version. I'm giving you my personal experience, and I am encouraging you that whatever it is that you want to do, you can achieve it. I am not from a rich family. My mother was not wealthy. My mother was a hard worker. She was diligent. She was honest. She was very methodical in the things that she did, and she worked consistently. I've never seen my mother not working. So I grew up with the thinking that hard work is where it's at. So I started working at the age of 18, and that's because I was not interested in going any full-time school. My mother, bless her soul, wanted me to go to university at that time. The truth is, for whatever reason, I was not at that place. However, I did short courses that assisted me along the way for the things that I wanted to do. So I used to work during my breaks, my summer holidays. So I was at Watt Commission, and then because of how I worked at Watt Commission, I was offered a position when I left school, sorry. Then I left Watt Commission and I went to IGL. I went to IGL and as a accounts clerk. And when I went to IGL, my thinking was to learn all that I could. Now, you have some people when they are employed and they're given a work, I can't remember now. They're given uh, anyway, it will come back to me. The things that you're to do, right? And they stick to it. Now, how does that grow you? Is this them employing me to do? Yeah, that's what they employed you to do. However, you are there. Anywhere you work is like a university. The onus is on you to get all that you can get from being job description. Thank you so much, Pierre. Bless you. Could I remember it left my mind? A job description. You are given a job description that says you are here to do X. Yes, you are there to do X. However, it wouldn't kill you to learn why. Because if and when you leave that company, remember, you leave with the knowledge. And I'm saying this also as an employer of 27 years. Anything you learn in an organization is a plus to you as well as the person who employed you, because of course they can get more out of you. So, but some persons are of a misunderstanding that they're doing the boss a favor by learning more. No, it is to your benefit as well as, yes, the owner and operator of the business. But whatever you learn in an organization, you take with you when you leave. That's just a sidebar. So I worked at IGL for 3 years. And then I want to tell you a little story that many people make this error. Remember now, I'm telling you my story. This is not book. This is my experience that I'm sharing with you because that's all I have to share. My experiences in this life. And I want to encourage somebody out there who feels as if that either they're not moving forward or they're not moving in the direction fast enough. Everything is a process. Sometimes you see some people out there excelling. You don't know the back end story. So I'm telling you my back end story. So my back end story is when I passed my common entrance, my mom gave me a trip to New York. When I took that trip to New York, when I saw the flight attendants, at that time they were called stewardesses, I fell in love. I literally fell in love. I loved how they looked. I loved how they walked. I loved how they talked. I loved everything about them. I was 12 years old. And I said to myself, I want to become a flight attendant, or it was stewardess at the time. I wrote it down in a composition that I later read. I remembered saying it. However, listen to this story. When I said it to somebody, and the joke is I can't even remember who it was, said to the person, you know, I want to be a flight attendant. Person said to me, no, sir, you have to know somebody. You have to have a foreign language. You have to brown. You have to come from uptown. You have to look a particular way. The hair have to tall, and so forth and so on. Now, if I were another type of individual, I would have listened. But I was one of those youngsters who was always very ambitious. Very ambitious. My mother would say, why I can't satisfy. My mother's biggest challenge with me was the fact that I couldn't satisfy. And she tried her best to knock it out of me, but it wasn't budging. That was just who I was. And I said to myself, okay, if I need all of those things, then maybe all I need to do is get my foot in through the door. Because in my mind, the type of personality that a flight attendant would match was mine. That's how I was thinking. So in spite of the person dissuading me, to put in my application in 1981 when I left Queens. I still put it in. No, when I left Immaculate, I still put it in. I put in that application in 1982 because the person, you know, that niggling in the back of your head, I wonder if she right, I wonder if she right, I wonder if she right. So I didn't even apply for flight attendant. I applied for what I thought I could have gotten as. So I applied for customer service. So I applied for customer service from 1982. You listening to me? From 1982. Went about my business, went to work at IGL. In the meantime, I've always done courses. Did computer course, did a 1 and 2 customer service course, so forth and so on. But I didn't have the head or the stomach to do like a degree or even go back to do. Oh, I went back and I did some subjects. 3 years passed. 82, no, 4 years passed. 1986, I got a call from Air Jamaica to say that they had some positions for flight attendant if I'm interested. Didn't apply for flight attendant. What is for you cannot be on for you. You get me? What is for you cannot be on for you. Anne-Marie Chin called me and she said they have some temporary positions. Of course, my mother again was very upset because I'm leaving a permanent job for a temporary position. But guess what? That was my dream. I wanted to be a flight attendant and this was my opportunity. 22 years old, have my life ahead of me. Why can't I try? If I fail, I fail. That's how I saw it. Of course, with much persuading, eventually, I got my mother to agree. Because although I was 22, I was living under my mother's roof. And I'm giving you this back end story because I know some people think that you have to have this godmother or this godfather to shepherd you in to certain jobs. The truth is, if you don't have a ticket, you don't have a chance. So if I did not put in that application, my application would not have been in file 13 to be able to be called 4 years later. So that's why I'm saying to you, do not surround yourself with the wrong types of people. Do not surround yourself with negative people. Do not surround yourself with people who are not going anywhere or people who don't have a dream, not even for themselves, because they are not able to help you. So that's how my journey started to live my dream. I flew for 9.5 years with Air Jamaica until I was made redundant. But remember, I went to business school because it was always in my plans to do business. And by the time it rolled around to 1994, well, prior to that, writing was on the wall that persons were being laid off. I'm a planner. That's another thing. They say in life, if you don't plan, if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail, pretty much. You have to have a plan. So I didn't have a plan B, I had a plan A. Because the writing was on the wall, we were going to be laid off. Some of us were going to be laid off, so I had plan A. So I had I had a side hustle where I was selling men's clothing on the side whilst I was flying. So when I was doing my feasibility study, which is something that you must do when you have a business in your mind, you don't just look out there and say, you know, I'm going to start a business tomorrow. No, you have to have a plan. You have to be very strategic about it. You have to be very, you have to ask questions. You have to look around the landscape, what's already being offered. Are you solving a problem? When I started to sell male clothing, you only had like 2 or 3 other male clothing stores. I believe you had collectibles with the Bell Girls. You had that other store up, Sovereign, what's her name again? Max Brown. And I believe you had Lee's selling men's clothing. So, you know, I was solving a problem with ties and shirts, and now I became like a personal shopper because I'm doing it for about 2 years. So I knew what my customers wanted, and I was very happy doing it. It lifted my spirit when I saw that somebody was happy with his purchase, his or her purchase, because women would purchase stuff for men. And it got under my skin so much that I said, no, I'm onto something here. But when I was doing my feasibility study, persons were saying that, you know, men don't shop every day, you know, men this, men that, and there were a lot of negative connotations where men was concerned, men and purchasing. But by this time, I developed a relationship in the last 2 to 3 years with my male clients. So I now had persons to ask what exactly was it that they wanted. I personally, whilst working on the airlines, when I worked first class, I liked how the men were very sharp, their deals were done. I mean, traveling, and of course, eventually, you know, you had internet, so you know the world was now one little pot. So as I exposed myself, I saw where, you know, the men of Jamaica were not being served in this area. To me, they had barber shops, yes, 1 and 2 other spas were doing it, but because we at that time, Jamaica was really heavily homophobic. So, you know, to go into a female salon or a female spa, you know, people kind of looked on you like, you know, girly or whatever. So I said to myself, no, man, I love it. Couldn't do any of the services at the time. So I said, here what happened. Men don't shop every day, but what do they go to do every day? They go to the barber. Not every day, but every week. So at least I know I would have a flow coming through every week. And I said to myself, okay, this is something I'm going to do. So I joined forces with a friend of mine who was relocated from Ochi. And we started Totally Male. My brainchild hit the road running. People gave me a lot of negativity. Nobody not going to come. Man not do them thing there. Only homosexuals going to come there. You name it, I heard it. Never pay a soul of mine. So that taught me another lesson. Know exactly what you want and focus on what it takes to make it happen. Speak to the right people, research, research, research. And don't really tell everybody your little secrets until you're fully up and running. Then everybody will see the finished product. Remember, that is 1994, you know, right? Man, I'm not really interested in a whole heap of grooming business. So therefore, I had to sell it to them. Selling it to them was very easy for me, came like breathing, because this was something that I appreciated about a well-groomed man. And a well-groomed man always seemed more successful, always had girls in a bundle, that kind of thing. So it wasn't a hard sell. However, it was tricky because I was female, now looking to enter into a male dominated field. I had to ensure that I toned down the sexuality, which is difficult with a male female exchange. Because in the early days, I mean, there were a lot of stories. Oh, them do happy endings, and then there was a period where at the back of the paper you had a lot of people coming out to them do massage, and it put a whole different light. However, I kept my business professional. From day one, I registered my company. I ensured that I targeted persons who was going somewhere. Let us put it that way. Who could understand, who was well traveled, who was woke. Let us say woke. Excuse me. And so by the time you start advertising and you are now solving problems because you're doing a good haircut or you're doing nails that, were, when a man stepped out, I mean, his toes, when he went on the beach, the clothes was well put together. As I said, by that time, I was doing like personal shopping. So the passion, my passion, and in turn, your passion would be able, passion and knowledge will be able to sell the product. It's one thing to go to school and learn what to do, but the application of what you do, the customer service that you offer, the integrity that you bring to your business is what matters. Then I went through challenges with employing persons of like mind. That's a huge challenge, especially when you are in a culture where maybe some persons don't understand when you say you have a vision of X. So selling the vision, good night, Anika, good night, Dawn, good night, Roslyn. Selling your vision of a company that you're starting from scratch to your new employees and building a culture is also a challenge, and it takes daily work, daily training of yourself, training of your staff, many hours, many days, many months, many years. My one thing was failure, no, two things. Failure was not an option, and growth was my end goal. As I continued business over the years, it was tweaked. I did not start as an all-female staff. However, as persons called and asked about our services, remember, this is in the 90s, and as I said, a lot of persons were extremely homophobic. So they wanted to know, like, who was doing the services, who doing the massage, who doing this, who doing that. So I took a decision, which was one of the best decisions that I have made to date, to go all female as we were doing only men. Or should I say all males? Because we do boys from 1 year up. And I can safely say from there, the rest is history. However, to remain in the market, to remain relevant, you have to keep on reinventing, keep on tweaking, Find out what your customers want and need, in particular, what your customers need, because you have to have a product or service that is filling a need or fixing a problem. Training of staff, no, hiring became extremely critical. Now, on my board, there is a Dr. Jones that is a HR specialist, which is critical. So I will hire the personality, which is very critical to my business, the personality and the essence of who I want to deal with my clients. Whereas you can teach a skill, you cannot teach personality. So my first acceptance of an employee is the kind of personality that I want for my culture in my business, which is friendly, happy, actually likes people, and is willing to learn, open to learn and grow. Because not everybody is open to learn and grow. And you will learn that when you hire people. Doing an interview as an employer tells you almost zero about a personality, because persons bring their A game when you're doing that interview, and they know what you're looking for, so they become it. However, it's not sustainable. So within those 3 months of probation, which I've learned the hard way, you hire slowly. When it's not what you're looking for, you let go quickly. What usually happens in a small business, as I learned over the years, you get attached within 3 months, and then you say, all right, let me help her because she have a baby or she have 2 children, and you want to help and them have potential, and so you work with the potential, which nothing is wrong with that. However, if the person has potential but is unwilling to learn, then you have a problem. I have learned so much that I want to impart to my fellow potential entrepreneurs out there. Your talent, your ideas, I call it blessing, is not a hustle. It's a potential business. We treat with our talent too much, too often, our talent as a hustle. Anything that can make you money is a potential business. All you have to do is do multiples of what you are doing. That works. If you are solving a problem, you can have a very viable business. 2022 is coming up. I want to say to you, don't watch a pandemic. People are still making money. I'm still in business. Challenges, there will be challenges. That goes without saying. There is never the perfect time to start a business. From I'm in business until now, from 1994 and before that, we have been, you have heard, is not the right time. It's challenging times. There is no money. Listen, start small. Do it incrementally. The challenge that or the mistake that many people make is that they want to start big. There's no patience, and you have to be methodical, you have to be consistent, you have to be diligent, and you have to do something that you enjoy. Because if you don't enjoy it, you are going to stop. You are going to stop. You have to also arm yourself with knowledge of what you are doing. When I started in 1994, I had no knowledge of manicure, pedicure, massage, facial. However, I was held to ransom by those who did not turn up for work. So I had no choice but to learn. And also the fact that I did not have knowledge of doing these services, I could not set a standard for my business. So it was imperative to learn. If you don't learn, you have to have somebody who is either alongside you or employed at a high level that they can do or set the bar at the standard at which you want it. But then at the bottom line, you still have to know your product. So for those of you who are out there itching, because a lot of persons are downsizing, a lot of persons are closing, a lot of persons have closed, some people will never open back, some people will still close, right? You never know, but you have an opportunity. If you are thinking about it, if you have it in your thought, if it is a dream, you can achieve it. You can, but you have to jump. You have to jump. So you have to set out a plan of action. If you don't have the knowledge for what you want to do, then it's time to start. Another one of my sayings is, whether you do or you don't, time passes. What I say? Whether you do or you don't, time passes. And you know that. Because when yesterday gone, it's gone. Can't get it back. Can't go back, redo anything. Tomorrow don't come yet. So you can plan for tomorrow. But the only day you have is today. The only time you have is today. So you have to make hay while the sun shines. So what did I say? Surround yourself with the right persons, seek mentors, ask questions, seek the knowledge, right? And there are certain traits that I have had throughout my work life, or should I say throughout my life, that has served me very well. And these are some of them. Stick-to-itiveness. You see, if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. Not only when you say something, you must mean it, because it speaks to integrity. It speaks to trust, persons trusting you. So when you say something, they know you are going to deliver. That is one of the biggest things a small entrepreneur must have in order to remain in business, because you are as good as your last say or as your last service. Whatever you say, whatever you promise, you must deliver. And let's say you were off your delivery. It's not the end of the world. It can be fixed. How do you plan to manage it? What is going to be your strategy? What is your company policy with regards to someone not receiving what you said you are going to deliver? Once a customer tells me that they're unhappy with this service, and they are not pleased with what I said I was going to deliver, the service is free. That has always been my policy. Once I know, I was informed, what I'm not talking about a customer who went away and did not inform me. No, there are certain things that are out of your control. But once I know, I manage it immediately. And so you'll have to have certain systems, certain policies. Set up your business just like a Grace Kennedy would set up from ground zero, just like a NCB, just like think big. Think of yourself as a big company. Yes, you're small because small has a definition. Small is X amount of employees. You're in X amount of square footage. You are in business for X amount of years or whatever. However, the plan on paper is not to always be small. And if you want to remain small and only earn a capped amount, that's also up to you. But you have to maintain the highest level for your product, right? As I said before, integrity. Passion must be in there somewhere. Passion about what you plan to offer. And the passion is really for you and your delivery to be able to maintain that energy. You need the passion to maintain the energy, believe me. You must have the skill, right? You must have ambition. Ambition for what is your vision for your company? I have a mission and I have a vision for my company. I also have a vision and a mission for my staff. I also have a vision and mission for the country. Because in a wider setting, I'm Jamaican first. I have a love for my country. I have a love for my people. And so I believe in excellence always, no matter what I'm doing. Excellence is my hallmark. Independence. There's a certain level of independence which did not serve me in my early days. And so let me speak to the young entrepreneurs coming up that want to do it all by yourself. It takes a village. You have to ask questions. If I knew then what I know now, I probably would have owned my building already. Still a dream of mine to own the building for Total Email, not yet achieved, still on my vision board. But you must ask questions, seek the knowledge, seek the information, read, explore. Look out there, see who has done it before you, similar to what you want to achieve. Ask them, believe me, they will tell you. Maybe not everybody, but ask. If you ask 10, one will say yes. Right? And be ready to back it up with your money. Take the person to lunch, to dinner, to breakfast while you pick their brain. Don't only look for handouts and freeness, right? Operate business-like. Because what I realized in my last 27 years is that when people see that you are trying, they reach out to help you and support you. So that's another thing that I want to impart to my young budding entrepreneurs out there. Also, I want for myself to make a difference in my country, in my community, in my family. amongst my friends. That's a goal of mine. What is your goal? I decided, because I'm extremely spiritual, right? Going to church for my eye and my knee, but there was a time when I only went because mommy used to send me. But now I go because I want to go. And I have a passion for God, and I also have a passion for people. And so my legacy that I would like to leave behind, because you have to have, what is your purpose? My purpose is grooming men, boys, helping them to feel more empowered, because I feel strongly that once men know who they are, what their purpose is, and feel good about themselves, we'll have better families, better men overall. And I'm just doing my small part to develop the males that we, let me not say I anymore, because I'm a company. It's a company of what, 15 of us. So we try to impart as best as we can our skills and to help the males out there to go to work, feel confident, feel their best. Um, a lot of men out there are not confident. They are not as bold as you may think. And so we are there to do our part, especially the boys. The boys, we groom them from 1 year up. So when they reach teenage, nobody can tell them anything to make them feel less than. And that's a big challenge with maybe some of the crime and violence and some of the high-handed manner that some men feel that they have to um, portray to get what they want to, excuse me, the image that they want to portray out there. Excuse me. So we are doing our part at Totally Male to make our men feel more confident and do what they have to do. What else? Yes, pretty much. Excuse me, I'm having a sinus problem. My apologies. So I just want to say to persons out there, go for your dreams, go for your goals, set up a vision board. Excuse me. Make connections. If you have lost your job, it's not the end of the world. When one door closes, another one opens. But you must have an idea of what it is that you want to do. I see also persons just open a business and just have a name. When you're naming your business, put some thought into it. The name of your business stands for something. When you're creating a logo, put some thought into it. When you are selecting staff, spend time to hire. Do not hire in a hurry. Decide what is the culture that you want for your business. Decide what is the structure that you want for your business. Do not treat your good talent as a hustle. You're not doing it justice. speak to banks. Do not assume you cannot get through. A lot of people shoot themselves in the foot by having negative thoughts and having fear. A lot of money has come to Jamaica through European Union and many other bodies that have gone back without being used. Why? One, persons don't even know that it's available because they have not checked. Two, they have no documentation. So you cannot tell the bank that you earn $1 or 50 cents because you have no accounts. If you have no proof of earning, nobody is going to back your business. You have to be able to show income, expenses. You need a business plan, structure. Stop saying, I can't. Spend the time to lay out what it is that you want to do. Many businesses are closing, so many persons will not be able to be employed. So you have to be able to offer employment. Don't think 10 years, think 5, start at 2. Because sometimes we kill ourselves with too much information and make things look daunting. You're asking someone information and advice that has never owned a business, that has never even managed a business. Wrong move. Ask people with the knowledge. I see some comments coming in. I really appreciate the encouragement and words of wisdom. Yes. Yes, Kimberly. It is my pleasure. Good night from Belize. Oh, Belize in the house. Nice. Hey, Mappy! My fellow salon owner, or spa owner. She's in Belize. Yes, because we met up at a seminar that we went to. And we shared gems and we shared our challenges. We also shared our successes. That's another thing. You have to share your success. You have to also share your challenges to let people know that you don't just get up and you just turn successful overnight. Because that's not true. Don't make people think that they have to have a rich parent or somebody, a godfather, because that's not also true. What it requires is diligence. Success comes through hard work. Yes, some people are lucky that they didn't have to work very hard, depending on the field they chose. But at some point, I'm sure there was some level of consistency and some work was put in. Some people are fortunate. They had hand-me-down, meaning their parents or guardians had businesses that was handed down to them. That's a blessing. But in lieu of that, we start from scratch. Yes, and you can. I started with one chair, one barber chair, one bed, one mani-pedi chair. It wasn't even a mani-pedi chair. It was a living room chair and the little pedi mat. And I grew from that into the spa that you see we have now today. with several different rooms, 15 staff members, and I am grateful. Of course, enough tears, enough bawling, enough challenges, enough hard work, enough sleepless nights, but I would not change it for anything in the world. When I was made redundant, I was devastated. I'm not gonna lie. I was devastated, but I promised myself that from that day forward, I'll be writing my own check, whether it's $5 or $100. And so diligently, I grew my business. And you can too. But you have to start. You have to put plans in place. You have to know what you want and be serious about it. What is your timeline? Every January, I have a plan for my year. What I'm going to do for my year. You spot check your plan at 6 months in the year. So that's by June. Where am I on my list of things to do? Where am I on my whether it's my bucket list or on my vision board? Am I behind or am I ahead? Excuse me. Excuse me. Of my target. You must have a plan. You can't just get up willy-nilly and just expect to be successful. What plan? What are you solving? What is the problem that you're solving in your business? I see a lot of persons copy people. So they see next door that Tom Strokes is selling bananas. And the bananas are selling well. So you want to sell bananas because clearly bananas are needed. However, you don't have the market. You didn't do the background work because before Tom Strokes sold one banana, he had to know before he went and reap the banana, where the banana going. So where is he going to deliver it after him cut down the banana? What is his market? Where is his market? I had to have a target market. I cannot possibly serve all the men in Kingston or Jamaica for that matter. What is my target market? Who is my target market? Who can afford my services? These are some of the things that you have to sit down and not dream about. It requires pen and paper. You have to write. When it's in your brain, it's a dream. When it's on paper, it's a plan. You have to have a plan. You see how much time I'm spending with you? So we're nowhere at an hour and I'm wrapping up. But I have a dream for Jamaica. And I know Jamaica can do much better than it's doing now. It's doing good in many areas, and many areas are doing well. But in my estimation, if one person not doing well, all of us not doing well. So we have to find a way to work together. You know, people always say, competition this and competition that. You know who I compete with? myself. When my customers are no longer happy, then I'm in trouble. So what I do is to keep my customers happy, keep abreast of what is happening out there. Not because my competitor is doing X, I'm going to run and do it and don't know nothing about it. That don't make no sense. Because maybe my customers are not interested in what that other person is doing. You have to think. You have to think. You have to think. You have to know your customers. You have to know your clientele. You have to know what they need, not what they want. Let's hear what happened. You see the wants get cut first. When that budget get tight, the wants get cut first. So you want to find something that people need and depend on. Honestly, when I started business, I never knew a haircut was so important to a man. I didn't know. I had no idea. But as I learned about my clients, I learned to fill their needs, how they want it, right? What other things to add to my suite of services. And although I serve men only or males only, most people who purchase my services are women. So I'm also filling a need for women to have their men looking good. Right? So these are some of the things that when you are setting up a business, and I'm encouraging you to do so, because gone are the days when you have huge companies employing whole heap of people. You have one and two. But how many people look in work? Look at the gaps. What are the gaps out there? Do some research. Maybe something is something that you may be excited about. I was interviewing an audiologist a couple of weeks ago on my program. She's the only one in Jamaica. How is that even possible? We don't know what the gaps are. And she started in speech therapy. But then she did a course in audiology and she fell in love. This is how things happen. I never intended to do services. My passion was selling clothing. And when the man put on the clothes and he feel good, I'm happy that I provided him with something that he wanted. But then as things evolved and the services took over, literally took over, because I don't even sell clothing anymore, because people can get clothing online. So you see how I have to pivot? I had to pivot. You have to go out to the sick and shut in, because that's another stream. You may have to go into hospitals. But you have to always be ahead of the game. So I want to just say, go for it. Jump. 2022, COVID or not COVID, whether COVID a keep or not, life is still happening. People still have needs. People still have problems to be solved. It could be a temporary one, like how people wanted, like for the last 2 years, people wanted more alcohol, people wanted gloves, people wanted masks. Those prices have gone through the roof. But it might be temporary. It might be 5 years, it might be 4 years, but at least in the window, take advantage of the situation. Yes? So, don't sit down and fold your arm and think that the word is going to come to you in your living room. Oh God, I lose my work. That's one job. What are you doing to retool? What are you doing to brush up on your knowledge? You know how to use a computer? You're in a workplace, you would like a promotion. Your boss even look in your direction? Do you want a boss? That's another question. Do you want a boss or do you want to work for yourself? Like on me now, I have a time issue, right? Late, too much time. They want to fire me a long time. After I know the type of job I have to be in. Or work for myself. You understand? So I'm just talking on a one-on-one today. Because I know I'm talking to somebody who have it up here, but has not yet put it on paper. I had Totally Mail on paper for 2 years. And I opened my doors from the time of as made redundant, from the date of redundancy to opening was 2 weeks because I had everything on paper. Yes? So you can do it. Remember, I tell you I leave school with 3 O level. 3. But in the 27 years, me do my little course here, my little course there, my little management course here, my little management course here, until 2016, went to the bank and a lady faced it with me and I said, no, there's something that I'm doing wrong. So I say, all right, it's time to go do my master's. Just like that. Not that me fool, me couldn't do it. Just didn't see that was important. But having done it, I'm a little bit more confident. Because people see and just think they're confident. No. You have your issues like everybody else. You might play it off a little better. But you have your insecurities, you have your challenges, you don't know everything as a business owner, as an entrepreneur running a business, as a female running a business. People take all kind of step with you. Them things say, I'm not saying sometimes. Them treat you like, you don't know what you say. But having done the masters, it made me know all that I knew. I just may have not known the language, because business has its own language. And so when a person speaks to you in certain terms, you don't understand because you don't have the background knowledge. It's not like a fool. You may have the street smart and you have the experience, but sometimes you need the formal knowledge to be able to communicate when you go to the bank, in particular, or you have to deal with your auditors, because that is a part of it come with it. You may not like it, but you have to deal with it, right? So you have to know the terms and the jargons and the different things that you have to do. So you just do it as necessary. Or the course is online. Whatever it takes to do what you have to do. Don't ever let anybody tell you you can't do something. And if you decide to share, because remember, it's not everybody is worthy to share your information. If you share your information with someone and they're discouraging you, I'm not talking about proper criticism now or constructive criticism. There's a difference. If all somebody has to tell you is negative and not offering a solution or an option, step away. Step away. Find someone who can steer you in the right direction. If you don't have the knowledge, get it. If you feel fool, arm yourself with the knowledge. There's a reason why you feel fool. Because you don't know. You don't know. It's not that you don't. Just that you don't know. Some people are late bloomers. Some people are in a job that their parents wanted for them. So they're unhappy. Some people are in a job that it looked like a good idea at the time. You can change no matter what age. Because the bottom line is internal peace and happiness. If you're not happy, please don't let the bills, tie you up. Find a way to earn with what you love doing. I fell into this online program and I have been absolutely enjoying it. You know, me love talk plenty, for those who know me. Me love talk plenty and me love information. And so this program, Boss Lady Live, came from something at my shop, having a discussion in the barber chair with my clients and learning so much just from a conversation. And out of that grew Boss Lady Live. And I mean, we have gone about what? Almost 50 odd programs now. This is not something for me to earn just yet. I love it. I love it. I've learned so much, and my Facebookers and my Instagrammers and my YouTubers that follow me have also benefited from it. So just think about, spend some time this Christmas holiday and before going to January, think about what changes you want to make to your life. Do you want to live a purpose-driven life? Do you want to live a happy life? Do you want to live a productive life? Because some of us earning, but we're not productive. We're earning, but we're not happy. We just earn to pay a bill. Can't live so. No, cannot. So think about in your private moments. Think about what it is that you truly want to do and go for it. Go for it. So let us jump in 2022. Pandemic or no pandemic. It's never the right time. From me in business until now, we're in a recession. But don't just start a business to say, I am in business. Ask yourself this question. What problem am I solving? And when you answer it for yourself, ask other persons, because you could be in love with an idea, but it's not necessarily something that you can monetize. So ask around. You know, people say, you know, people know my business, yeah? So we're going to be your customers. Who are going to be your customers? I'm not telling them to tell them your business plan, but ask questions. There are ways to ask. Find out if people are interested in what you're about to offer. And then now, seek out some experts in the area. Because business is business, you know. So a business person more than likely can tell you, can give you an idea, or you can bounce some ideas off and they can steer you in the right direction. Right? So I want to encourage everybody out there in internet land. Go for yours. There's no time like the present. I tell everybody, I tell all my friends, if I should die tomorrow, and I really mean this sincerely, if I should die tomorrow, I would have lived a life that I am so happy with, so proud of. And for those Jamaicans who are old enough to appreciate, or old enough to know what a bag juice was back in the day, as a plastic bag with the ice and the syrup and the water. When I shall leave this earth, my life shall resemble a sucked out bag juice. So not even air in the bag. Because I have lived mine. And I have lived mine because I am a 22-year breast cancer survivor. And so I did get a wake-up call. But I don't want you to wait on a wake-up call. I'm using my experience to encourage you so that you don't have to get a wake-up call. Can them say, what you say? They say, go, when fish go down a sea bottom and tell it's a shark, don't they believe them? Well, that may tell you. Many persons don't do a lot of stuff because they don't have the time, them this, them that. No, you make the time. So funny, you do things that you want to do, don't you? So why don't you do things for you? Do things for you. Stop in your tracks. Start over. It's never too late to start over. So with that said, it's raining outside. So I'm going to turn in early tonight. I don't know what else I can say to, and there, you can always inbox me. I'm always open for a discussion on business. Always. We'll be talking next year again. I'll be back in January. So we're taking a break for the holidays. But I just want to encourage, especially my Jamaicans, because you know I have a soft spot for my Jamaicans. Do what makes you happy, and as long as you're not hurting others. I don't want to leave out that part. Do not step on others to get to where you want to go. And also, when you do get to where you're going, remember to reach back your hand and bring back a few with you. We are here to serve each other. We are here to share our knowledge, because when we die, we take it with us. So that's why we share it whilst we're alive. Nobody is you. People always say, boy, you share so much. You don't afraid that people. I'm one person. They can do what I do, but they don't do it like me. I'm one person. You can't be me, and I can't be you. So do what you do to the best of your ability and have fun while you're doing it. So have a fantastic holiday, a fantastic Christmas. I'm looking for somewhere to spend it. And have a wonderful new year. And let's jump together in 2022. Bye.